to Karlene's Anime Corner, a St. Johns County Public Library podcast, and I am super excited today because one of my main goals in life has now been accomplished. I have Zoe, my regular co-host, on, but we have also got a very special guest, the children's librarian, Miss Lisa, who is also Zoe's mom.
You may hear her giggling quite a few times.
Yes, you finally did it. You have turned me over to anime, and yes, I'm here.
I've tainted her.
No.
I've tainted her.
No.
We usually start the show, Miss Lisa, with asking what kind of nerdy thing we've been doing since our last recording. I am going to give a little behind the scenes to our listeners. We are recording in the beginning of November, even though this isn't being posted until December, so we're not quite into the Christmas season yet. If we don't talk about anything holiday, that's why.
Okay, yes.
And we have a hurricane coming into town,
Yay!
so this is lots
I
of
love
fun.
Florida. I love Florida weather.
Yeah.
Oh,
we just found
God.
out school got canceled on Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So, but Miss Lisa, you're a children's librarian here at St. Johns County Public Library, and what branch are you from?
I work at the Ponte Vedra branch library, so yeah, but it's been a lot of fun there. Love my kids. One of my favorite things that I do there, if anyone's ever interested, is I run a Warriors book club. So if you're, and that's
the series by Aaron Hunter,
that's
right?
the series by Aaron Hunter. So if you were to ask me what nerdy thing have I done this week, that would be it. So we meet through Zoom, which is a lot of fun. So yep.
You recently hosted like an OC contest recently.
I did, yeah. So, if you've ever, explored the books, or maybe you were into them before and you want to re-explore them, I have a lot of fun with my Warriors friends, and they're really cool. So, yeah.
I used
Awesome.
to be into Warriors. I never actually read the books, but I still made OCs for it.
So I read
Yeah.
the first Warriors book ages ago because I've always liked books that have animals as characters. But my big thing when I was younger was the Redwall series.
Mine was Wings of Fire. I
I
love
have
Wings
not-
of Fire.
I need to read one of those because they do look good.
Oh, they're so good. I absolutely adore Wings of Fire. I haven't actually read the new series, The Butterfly Dragons, but like everything before that is they're pushing that middle school
You're
rating.
giving
Yeah.
me 80s My Little Pony flashbacks.
Yeah,
Because
well-
when we had the Flutterby ponies show up.
Okay, but like listen, for this book series, for a middle schooler level book series, they get into some pretty serious stuff.
They do.
In the
Yeah.
graphic novels, there is a really concerning amount of violence.
Well-
considering the whole like first like series takes place during a war.
Well,
That's my Redwall series.
and that's the same thing about Warriors. Like, it is not about cuddly cats.
No.
Nobody-
These are books about cats tearing each other's stomachs open and dragons literally forcing each other to disembowel themselves.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is this is the middle grade version of When Dad Brings Home the Watership Down movie, and nobody knows what that's about.
Oh yeah.
And has terrorized many 5-year-olds whose parents think this is a rabbit about cute fluffy bunnies.
No. You're gonna watch some bunnies suffocate. Okay, let's get into this.
So let's get into this. So your Warriors Club, that has always sounded like a lot of fun, and I wish something was like that around when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Zoe, what kind of nerdy thing have you been doing?
I've been mostly avoiding spoilers for the new Pokemon games because there was a massive leak online, so I've been avoiding every social media platform just so I don't get spoiled by it, because apparently that leak is like the entire like intro to the game.
Oh wow.
So like all the starter evolutions, a lot of the characters, a lot of the story is just completely leaked. So I don't want to be spoiled, so I'm trying my darndest to avoid this stuff. Because I want to buy the game when it comes out in physical versions, so like...
Yeah. Well, I've not had a hard time not being spoiled on Pokemon because I've just kind of decided I'm not getting this game, so I've just been ignoring all the videos that
you're not
pop
getting
up.
it?
I might eventually, but not
Not on the day it comes out?
Not on the day. It's not a pre-order for me.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
I didn't pre-order it, but I am going to go in there. I'm going to try and go in there and get some.
Well, my nerdy thing is I found out they're coming out with a One Piece card game.
Oh.
Like with Pokemon and stuff, they're coming out with a one with all the One Piece characters.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, apparently it's not really being released until like next year or something. But there's already they're trying to sell pre-order packs for like twice the retail value already online. So that's gonna be fun and interesting. But yeah, so that's kind of what I found out this month, and I was like, ooh, more stuff I can cram into my little tiny house.
But on the topic of nerdy things we did this past week, Mom and I watched this very neat show that we're going to review here.
Yes,
and I'm excited.
This is a big one. So let's go ahead and transfer over into talking about our anime. So before we start, I have to do a content warning because this is the first time that we are doing a show that is rated TV mature.
For good reason.
For very good reason. We are going to be talking about Attack on Titan.
One of the darkest shows out there.
Yes, probably. I have watched several horror animes, and while some people don't necessarily categorize this as horror, I don't know why they wouldn't, but this is probably the most horrific I've seen that actually has you on the edge of your seat.
I think this would be classified as like action horror.
Yeah, kind of an action horror. But
Action horror drama.
Action horror drama.
Yeah, very drama. Yeah.
But it is definitely, there is a lot of violence, as Netflix puts it, that has self-harm, quite a bit of it. And some people might take exception to this, but there is sort of nudity. It's like Ken and Barbie doll nudity. Nudity, but not nudity.
Yeah, it's like a weird in-between.
Yeah. It's like one of those people who puts on a bodysuit and you at first go, wait, is he naked? And then you realize, no, he's not.
It's a flesh-colored bodysuit.
Yeah. So our discussion today probably won't go into a great deal of detail on a lot of some of the more horrific aspects. But if you are thinking about watching the show, you should definitely be aware it is not meant for the lighthearted, not meant for the faint of heart, not meant for to go into without some kind of warning.
Yeah, I think the first 4 episodes are the most intense first 4 episodes I've ever seen in a show.
The first episode,
even the very first
episode is already like
crazy
dark.
intense. Like you were wide-eyed, like hiding half your face behind the blanket during that thing.
I was a little surprised when Zoe told me you guys were watching Attack on Titan.
She was the one who wanted to watch it. Okay, I proposed something cute like Spy Family, and before we'd already watched a bit of Assassination Classroom. So
in my defense, and we can get into this later, there was a reason why I selected it. And, this was not the first anime that I've watched. We have watched another one together, and I know we're here to talk about Attack on Titan, but we watched Assassination Classroom.
And you really liked that show.
A little bit together.
Yeah, very good show.
I felt that perhaps, one of the things I learned, and I don't want to get too nerdy or academic or anything, but I just learned a lot about anime from watching Assassination Classroom, that there's so much more complexity there than it seems on the surface.
Absolutely.
And
some anime, some of it is...
Yeah,
some of it is very surface level, but the really good ones
really don't dig because you don't want to know what
you don't want to dig too deep.
Okay, well, I guess I was hoping that Attack on Titan, because it was such a well-known and well-regarded show, that it would have some of that complexity and nuance that I liked about Assassination Classroom.
I think you definitely picked an anime that would have that.
Yeah.
It does have that. It's just on the completely different spectrum of Assassination Classroom. It's on a very different kind of complexity.
But I wanted a show I wanted to watch something that was, sophisticated, a little bit more sophisticated. And I do like that type of genre, like action, dystopian, horror movie. Just surprisingly, I know I'm a children's librarian who likes, dystopian things, but, I do. So
I like survival stories.
Yeah.
So quick, I'm going to give a summary of Attack on Titan just in case somebody doesn't know what this show is about.
Yes.
Just like you're one of the few, like Mom here, who does not know what happens.
So Attack on Titan is based on a manga. And the anime came out in 2013. I watched it when it was released as it was coming out, and it took the world by storm. I walked into Hot Topic a year after this show had come out, and I think half the anime merchandise in there was Attack on Titan. I have Attack on Titan earrings. Let's put it that way.
One of the main cosplays you see at cons is people in the Survey Corps or Cadet Corps gear.
Oh, I want that cloak.
I want that cloak. You want that cloak. Everyone wants the cloak.
Well, I was like, if I'm ever gonna cosplay, it would be that outfit.
We can make that happen.
It's so we're gonna dress up Mom like I don't know. What's the character that fits her physique?
Oh, we can make her.
Can I be Mikasa?
No.
Hanj. She could be Hanj.
Okay.
You got the right hair and got the glasses. You could be Hanj.
Okay.
But in the world of Attack on Titan, the humans are behind giant walls, like really giant walls, because there are these things called Titans that attack them and eat them. And as far as I can tell, Titans do not eat them because they need to eat humans. They have no need for any kind of sustenance that they can discover. They just like eating people.
Like, they actually, like, regurgitate them after they eat too much. Mom saw that, like, Titan pellet thing they showed, and she was horrified.
Yeah, that is horrifying.
It's like
that
an owl pellet.
Yeah.
It's like an owl pellet, but filled with but human corpses.
Hence the content warning.
Yes, lots of death. But there's a survey corps, there's a military police, and there's a garrison corps, and they either defend the town or they actually go out and fight the Titans. And they have special omnidirectional maneuvering gear.
Which allows them to grapple around and fly through the air with a series of grappling hooks and, like, gas thrusters or something that allow them. It's like a jetpack.
And they wield these giant blades that literally look like box cutters.
Yeah, and they use them to box cut sections of the Titan's necks out to kill them. Because there's only one way to kill a Titan, is to cut out a certain spot in their neck.
So this,
Spoiler alert.
Well,
they reveal that pretty early on.
They do. That's true.
Yeah, and so, and our main character, Aaron Yeager, we follow him in his path on his goal to leave the walls, actually see the world, and kill every Titan he can find.
Yes. Emphasis on the kill every single Titan he can find. He is a very angry main character.
Yes.
Like,
all right.
That man is fueled by rage and
now
spite.
That we have an idea of what Attack on Titan is, what is your guys' star review? Now, this is only based on the first season, because that's all we have kind of officially watched for this.
Based on the first season, I would give it a full 5 stars. For my opinion, at least.
All right.
I'm not sure if I should. Am I allowed to give a star review?
Yeah,
I just don't know.
Yeah, you watched the first season. Give your thoughts.
Did you really like it? Did you not like it?
I did really like it. I did.
Did you watch it again?
Yeah, I would 100% watch it again. There were certain parts of it that I was like, come on.
Yeah, they do get a little chatty at times.
A little too much monologuing and a little slow and
a lot of soul searching and thinky.
But then didn't I ask for that? I asked for more drama, more complexity.
You asked for that, and shows that are like that are very talky thinky.
Yes, it was very
emphasis on
talky thinky.
Emphasis on the talky.
So I think for my taste, I would give it like a 4.5. Can I do a half star?
Yeah, you can do you can do points too.
Okay,
like 4.8 or 4.9. I did 4.9 a few times.
I'll say 4.5.
Yeah.
4.5?
Yeah.
Okay. So mine, I'm a little bit divided. I think the first, 15 or so episodes is a straight 5. There's, there's no stopping to the action. Even that one episode where Arlen spends most of the time... Armin. Sorry, I keep calling him Arlen in my head. Armin spends most of the episode talking, trying to convince them not to kill somebody. It still has lots of action to it
because of the way it's presented.
Because of the way it's staged.
He's just talking and it's epic.
I feel that somehow, halfway through, it lost a little bit of that oomph, a little bit of that get up and go, and it kind of drops a few points. So I'm still going to give it a 5-star overall, but I can see it kind of ratcheting down a notch.
It kind of became more psychological.
Yeah.
It was more like a psychological drama. It was more about our inner turmoils and what choices are we going to make.
Exactly.
It went from bang, bang, boom, everyone's dying, everyone's horrified, lots of people are having the worst days of their lives.
To existential crisis.
And then it went to existential crisis. Everyone has depression. Everyone's trying to figure out what it means to be human.
Well, okay. I firmly believe in Attack on Titan, there's not a single character that is not traumatized horrifically in some way.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
there is not a single character that does not have some kind of mental issue.
I think, out of the main character roster, in my personal opinion, I think Armin has it the worst.
Except for... Yeah.
I think Armin probably has it the worst, a little bit, in my opinion at least, because he gets beat up so much.
All right. Well, okay. So
Poor
we all
guy.
agree this is pretty much a 4.5, 5-star, really good show.
Yeah,
I love it. It's good.
I did really enjoy it. I mean, even when spots were a little laggy or
they're forgivable. They're forgivable.
Then they would reward us with epic, surprises,
massive kaiju fights, plot twists.
I mean, not real kaiju, but
Titans.
Titan fights.
They're giant.
They're giant.
They're 14 meters tall.
14, 15.
It's
in one
almost
case,
like
150.
they wanted to they just made it so much more intense because you knew about all the drama that was going on behind the scenes.
Attack on Titan is a show of like really high highs and semi low lows. Like it starts off with like a really high emotional point and then a really low emotional point.
Yeah. It is still considered like one of the blockbuster anime to have come out.
It was actually my first anime, and
I can see why.
So, quick tangent here. Did you guys know they made live action movies?
Yeah. No, don't watch it. Don't watch it. They changed so much. They
did change a whole ton of the story.
Do you know something stupid? They cut out the character of Levi because none of the actors could pronounce his name.
Oh no!
Yeah,
that doesn't bode well.
No, that's real.
Oh,
that's real.
Okay.
They cut.
Well,
they cut out the most popular character in the show.
And yeah, I will say the only thing I kind of liked about that show is her depiction of Hange, because she was just as crazy in the show as she is in.
Okay.
So the actress did a really good job portraying her, but they changed her character a little bit.
And they changed like the technology and stuff. Yeah. And the CG was a little iffy.
Have you watched it?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I watched it in theaters.
Oh.
I drove all the way to Jacksonville to 5 Points.
Yes.
And watched it at Sunray Cinema. Both movies. A week apart.
Okay. There's two. Was it like a part 1 and part 2?
It was a part 1 and part 2.
Okay.
It was interesting. It was fun.
Yeah. So was it like made for TV quality, like made for TV movie quality?
They changed so much stuff.
So the live action, I would say they actually invested some money and time in this movie.
Yeah.
And they did and I did some reading, and the way they designed the Titans was on purpose. The director actually had a vision, and that was his vision. That's what he did.
It looked a little. I'm just saying, it looked a little iffy.
Odd.
It looked weird.
It
yeah,
looked
and
weird.
I will say the set design is actually really neat.
No, and as I said, they did a lot of really interesting stuff with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're a huge fan of the anime, you're going to be disappointed by the live action, which is what I have found with most live action movies based on anime, is they are either like laughably bad, even though they do a lot of money and try. I think Japan tries too hard.
Sure.
To take something that's
they
animated,
overthink it, just a little bit too much,
and make it
Because
real.
like they try. There are some cases where they try to recreate like the anime hairstyles
and it's like
in live action. It looks really awkward. Like
Like they're wearing a wig.
They're wearing cosplay wigs.
Yeah.
Though I will say the one exception. It always goes back to this. You're gonna. In the Diamond is Unbreakable, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure live action, they did the first part. The CGI was actually really good, and the hairstyles somehow translated really well. But they also changed a bunch of other stuff that made me really angry.
My favorite live action anime adaptations I've ever seen, Initial D was a good one, because that's a car racing anime.
It's kind of hard to mess
So
that
it's
up.
kind of hard to mess
fun.
that up.
That's fun.
And Rurouni Kenshin, because it's a semi-fantastical, because they do over-the-top martial arts things, but it's a historical drama
Okay.
with samurai.
The more realistic the anime, the better the live action.
Yeah, the better the live
action.
action is.
Yeah.
They did do a live action of Assassination Classroom. I really don't want to see that.
No.
Because of Koro Sensei.
Oh god, he looks horrifying.
Oh.
He goes from like
I don't even want to see a still of that.
No. They made him CG and round and like weird shading.
Is it like a big blobby puppet thing, or
No,
what
he's
is it?
CGI.
CGI.
I've seen stills. It's not pretty.
It's CGI, but like they didn't even attempt to make it realistic. They made it like a CGI, but like a cartoon character.
Some things
Now,
just shouldn't be
I
done.
will say, I did pick up for really cheap at a sale a live-action anime movie that I really do want to watch. I just haven't gotten around to it yet, of Mushishi.
I don't know what that is. I don't know that one.
I
I'm
might
sorry.
have to make you watch Mushishi.
You might
next
have to
time.
make me watch that. I haven't
Okay,
seen
it's
that
a
one.
very slow
I've heard the
anime.
name, but I don't know what happens.
It's a very slow anime, but it's kind of like a magical realism type anime. So let's go into spoilers, and let's talk about Attack on Titan and what made it so great for all of us, despite the horror and the...
I kind of want to discuss one
despair.
of my favorite moments in the entire in the entire show, and it's in the first season, obviously. But there's a moment in this that I really like, but it's also kind of spoiler
Okay,
territory.
so do we want to go ahead and dive into our favorite moments?
Yes, I would love to.
Okay. Lisa, do you have a favorite moment also that you can...
Oh goodness!
Like a moment that you remember the clearest.
Well,
Probably how I
mean,
define it.
we're totally spoiling it, right?
Oh,
yeah.
We have now reached the spoiler factor.
Okay, so I just have to say, I'm one of those people when I read a book or like watch a movie, I'm always caught by surprise with all the little, like, if there's gonna be like a big reveal or a plot twist or something, I'm just just go along with the show, and I completely like I'm always caught by surprise. And
Me and Karlene are giggling so hard right now.
Yes, we are.
I think we know what you're alluding to.
yeah, so I have to admit,
You mean the one that had me dancing around the living room
Oh my
when I
gosh.
first watched this?
You know the one that made me literally fall off the back of the couch and fall between the couch and the wall.
Well,
and
see,
get
I
stuck
was
for
about
5
to
minutes.
give up on the show because I remember talking to you and saying I was really upset. They got us so invested in these characters in the beginning of
And
the
then
series.
they just kind of did that to
and
Aaron.
then everybody gets killed. And I was like,
Listen. The part when there was a scene where all this main crew of like all the main cast, they were like hyping themselves up and they're about to go. They're saying, "I'm gonna get the most kills" and all that stuff. And then everyone dies, except for Armin.
And they did such a good job of like pumping up the rock music, and it was, and they were kind of setting it up to like, okay, the teenagers are gonna save the day.
It's gonna be
Like,
epic. That's what normally happens in an anime.
You said to me, "Are the teenagers really gonna save the world?" You said to me
I
that
know,
in a disbelieving voice,
And then
and I was just
one
I
by
hid my
one,
face.
Everybody dies, and I was like, okay, now this is heartbreaking. I was like, this is crazy. And then all we could do was focus on certain characters and how they were so traumatized by the experience of watching all their friends get killed, and everything was the way they thought it was going to work didn't work, and now what are they going to do? And then would you like to pick it up then?
No, you keep going.
No,
keep going.
Is this the part when the new Titan shows up and punches out the other one? Because that was a moment.
Yeah. So, but at this point, I was still pretty jaded. So there's a new Titan that shows up, and they're all like, this Titan is fighting the other Titans and not eating the people. And I'm still kind of a little salty because all the characters I fell in love with just got killed. So I was kind of like, whatever. And I'm like, okay, I'm not that. Okay, it's a novel Titan. I'm just still kind of like, I'm sitting over here sulking in the corner,
I am grinning like the Cheshire cat on the other side of the couch.
And I don't remember, there was some character that's like, oh, maybe we can use this Titan.
That's Armin. That's Armin. Who said, Armin. Blondie.
Yeah, and I'm just like, whatever. I don't know. I was really just so sad. And then, and then there's like a big fight, and the new Titan gets hurt, and there's like one of my friends is inside of him.
And he just pops out like a spring daisy.
And I do remember being 100% speechless and going, oh my gosh, like, that is something I did not expect at all.
The two moments that made me completely speechless with this anime were when Aaron got eaten the first time, because I watched this, because he's your main character. Every shonen anime, you don't lose your main character. I was so certain
mad.
He was dead.
I was so mad.
Mom's reaction was literally the textbook definition of flabbergasted. Yeah. It was the funniest thing I have ever seen. I have never seen you so expressive over a TV show in my life. I loved it. I texted Karlene in the bathroom. I was hiding in the bathroom to hide how much I was laughing.
Well, I actually had just texted her that day because I was wondering, how far are you guys getting in the series? Because I knew you guys were watching, and she's like, I could just hear her giggling over the phone.
She was totally calm, cool, and collected. She didn't let on at all. She did not let on at all. And I completely was caught off guard.
So the one thing I love, though, is that by setting up Aaron's story that way, is now you're stuck with the thought of, are there other people like him?
Oh.
Which is what the second half of the season is.
They definitely allude to that continually. Like, we don't really know his backstory. We don't know why this happened.
He's got weird flashbacks with his dad.
He's got this key thing going on. Like, what's with this key in the basement? And, the flashbacks with dad and all of this. And so I think they did a good job setting it up, because they did not answer a lot of the fundamental questions about, like, who are these Titans? Where'd they come from? And why is he inside of one?
I think those questions actually get answered until season 3 or 4.
Yeah.
What?
Not until later on.
Seasons get shorter.
Seasons get shorter.
Seasons get shorter.
Okay.
Just
Seasons
telling
get
you that
shorter,
right now.
yeah.
Okay.
The funny part is like I have 3 favorite moments. One of my favorite moments though is like, I don't know why, but I find it absolutely hilarious when Aaron goes all raging at the side of, in like episode like, I don't know, 5 or something like that, during the whole Tross arc before he gets like eaten. The scene where he like starts like rage dashing after a Titan, and then one jumps up and snaps his leg off, and he like sonic spin dashes through like 3 buildings and then comes to a rest on the roof.
Yeah, he should have died just from that.
Yeah, I don't know why, but the way he just slams through like 3 spires and then scrapes against the roof
it's
was
also,
just really funny to me.
They do such a good job setting you up, like, because you think he's gonna rush in there, he's gonna get this Titan, and all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, it's just like a shark attack out of nowhere.
Legs gone, he's rolling around, he's probably got several concussions.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I'm amazed that any of these people get up after they fall, because they're traveling at a fast speed.
Well, and a lot of them don't get up.
A lot of them
no, they don't.
The second part that I love was the whole cannonball scene with when they're like cornered in the corner. It's like, I don't know why, but there's this like trope where like a character A has like this ability that turns them into a monster or something like that, or something that everybody's afraid of, and like there's like a moment where everyone around them is like afraid of them and they have to fight for their life for a little bit. I don't know why, but that like specific like thing, I really like that. It's super cool. I love watching it.
And I like the way they did it here, because they really do have a valid fear. They have literally just lost a ton of people to Titans being eaten.
And they find out this one little kid just can turn into one at random, and they're like,
we're gonna kill you now.
We're getting rid of you.
That was pretty suspenseful.
That was. And I loved Armin in that show because he saved the day pretty much. Because with his... He's
the one person who's like actually smart most of the time.
Armin is actually kind of scary though, because do you remember at the end of the series, he's the one who tells Eren that he needs to become a monster and that people need to be monsters, even to the point of destroying other people around them in order for humanity to survive. And I was like, that is a scary thing for somebody to believe. And the fact that he's actually in a weird way in this situation is even scarier.
Well, that's true.
That's why Armin's
like military leadership, right?
Yeah.
Is kind of like somebody has to make the call to say, this has to happen if we're going to ultimately win the battle.
And you see it's not just the soldiers that are dying, because they're having to fight in a city with people, and you see kids and women.
The episode where it starts off with like a church sermon, and then it starts off all peaceful and stuff, and then a Titan just smashes through the wall and kills everybody in there. I know.
That's the last one.
And that's Eren punching
the female Titan.
The female Titan into the building. So it's like the good guy has actually caused massive collateral damage.
Yeah.
I don't know why this is kind of weird, but like my third favorite moment is when I think it's still during the female Titan arc. It's when she grabs a guy by the wire and it just starts spinning him really fast.
How could that be your favorite?
I don't know why, but it's just so funny.
I like the way that they showed that she knew how to fight against people with the ODM, because she knew to grab the wires and swing them.
Just the way she grabbed the guy and starts pinning, because I do the same thing with my headphones.
And I used to do the same thing with stuff and so on, and it's like one of those, and it's just one of those unthinking
where you're just like you're spinning like a cord or something, or like an earbud, and just I don't know why I thought it was so funny. But yeah, the female Titan's terrifying, absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
That scene where like she knocks Armin off his horse and like pinches his hood up to look at his face. It gives me chills every time. Like,
well, and that's the moment Armin knew for sure there was a human in there, because a regular Titan would not have done that, because she was obviously looking for something.
Well, and they set it up to where you were like, okay, he's totally going to get eaten. You know,
Armin almost gets eaten like 4 times.
I think I think the human in the female Titan was actually slightly sweet on Armin.
She was.
I think Eren was slightly sweet on her.
A little. It is a little bit implied, but I mean,
I say slightly because
they respected her.
Right?
They
liked her.
Yeah,
he liked her and
like they had like mutual respect and stuff.
I remember them saying like that she was a good fighter and she kind of did her own thing. And, I remember that. So
and the fact that she like had the choice to kill Armin like 3 times and didn't do it is like there's like. It's like
that's why I was like, and she knew at the end that Armin was taking her to a trap, but she went anyway, because I think a part of her was kind of hoping that Armin would still
like be on her side. Which it just makes her so much more like
I want to know more about her backstory, because it feels like there's a lot more going on
There
that
is
we
a
don't
lot more
know.
going on.
She was also, she was so different from the other, like, cadets or trainees. Like, she was...
and there were all these flashbacks with her and her dad and stuff.
Yeah.
Learning how to fight.
Yes.
Yeah, and
It
as
was
a person...
almost like she was already broken, you know, before she even, like, before anything we saw happened to her.
Yeah.
It was like she was already just broken and
Well,
bruised.
that's like Mikasa. She already had her situation where she decided the world is a cruel place. Okay.
And then it zoomed in on a pomegranate for some reason during that speech. I don't know why they did it on a pomegranate.
Pomegranates have a lot of symbolism.
Yeah, I don't get it though. I don't get that symbolism. So whenever I see that scene where it zooms in on the
I'm not
pomegranate,
sure what the Asian pomegranate symbolism is, but I know in Greek mythology it usually has something to do with death because
the
Persephone
the Hades thing.
Yeah, Persephone's ate seven pomegranate seeds.
Whenever they zoom in on that pomegranate in the episode, because I've rewatched that episode like 15
I think
times.
it's not necessarily the pomegranate that they're zooming in; it's the fact the fruit is broken
The fruit's broken. It's in like
and
a
it's
spotlight.
oozing, and
It's got like a
kind of
holy
bleeding.
spotlight going
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah,
I
it
don't
just Mikasa's little that like moment where Mikasa is like having this like melodramatic speech about how the world is cruel. She's pretty much given up at this point, and then she gets up a little bit, and then bam, Deus Ex Titan,
Yeah.
or Deus Ex Eren, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
she's really tough, so.
Well,
She
yeah,
is.
she's awesome.
Yeah.
So our
Yeah.
trifecta of main characters is Mikasa Ackerman, who is Aaron's kind of adopted sister.
Because he
They
saved her from child slavers.
Let's
And
not-
then-
are we
and
giving away everything in the show?
Yes.
we do.
Yes.
But like,
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
saying,
on
I'm
spoilers
okay.
we do.
But like,
Okay.
I'm just saying, like,
but-
Aaron did that by stabbing two full-grown people at the age of
Actually-
9.
Yes, and then they go, which is why I said all these people are broken already because he's already been damaged.
Yeah,
and
'cause
Mikasa has also been because she saw her parents killed. She then had to get over the fact that she's about to see Aaron also killed, and she has to get up and stab someone, and that's when she decides. I don't know what she decides, but she decides this world is a cruel place. And
you got to be strong,
and you
or
gotta
else
be
you're gonna
strong
die.
or die. And she decides to be strong.
And stabs the guy in the back.
Yes,
through the heart.
And the thing is later on when you see them running up to meet when Armin is getting beaten up by the bullies, and Aaron comes running, the bullies are like, "Oh, it's just Aaron. We can beat him.
We can
up
take
too."
him." And then
they're like, "Oh no, Mikasa's behind him! Run!
Yeah.
"Oh God, run!" Because
Mikasa is scary. She scares.
is,
She
Yeah.
is absolutely terrifying because she's crazy protective over Aaron and Armin, but like more so Aaron.
Yeah,
And
But-
she's one of the best soldiers.
And she's
Yeah.
one of the. I
she
think
has
the only.
scary physical ability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she is in some ways more the warrior than Aaron is.
Yes.
Aaron is just a bundle of rage that fuels everybody.
He is fueled entirely by spite, anger, and like I don't know, drive, passion, something like that.
Yeah, he's a roaring bundle of rage that doesn't know what to do with it and has just decided he's going to kill every single Titan.
Which doesn't really work out sometimes, considering when during the cannonball scene, he was talking about killing Titans, but he kept saying, "I'll kill all of you," and all the humans around him were like, they're hearing this, and they're like, "Wait a minute,
Yeah.
kid, kid, are you
Well,
alright?"
and then and Armin is like the intellect of the group because he thinks everything through. He has the logic, and everything.
But he's
like
also
that.
got a massive inferiority complex.
Yeah, he does because he's smaller and weaker than all the rest of them. But in some ways, I think he's stronger because he's partially the one who is able to talk through things, make them see stuff, and be able to do plans and so on.
So he's a strategist.
He's
you know?
the
he's a
strategist.
strategist.
He's
Yeah.
the strategist, and he gets so traumatized so quickly.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
On top of his already
Well, he
existing
got-
trauma.
He's tougher than he thinks
pulled
he is.
out of a Titan's mouth covered in
Yes.
slobber.
Yeah.
I
And
mean-
watch his best friend, for as long as he can remember, get murdered right in front of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then all of
Yeah.
his friends around him get murdered right in front of him. And then his grandpa got sent on a suicide mission, and so he's dead. And then so much happens.
Yeah.
This
Poor
boy's
kid.
gonna need the final boss of therapists if he's gonna get through life.
Oh, this
Yeah.
entire village.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, let's say this civilization has gone so insane. There's actually a cult that worship the walls as gods,
Yeah.
and I'm like, that's...
I mean, it's kind of, there's a little bit of hope because like they're like kind of regarded as the weirdos, and everyone thinks they're weird.
except for they're getting more and more followers ever since
Yeah.
the wall,
The first wall fell,
which was
Was that Wall Maria?
I think it
Wall
was
Maria
it was Wall
fell.
Maria and then
Yeah.
Wall Rose.
Rose is the next one that was under attack. Wall
Yeah.
Cena is the last wall.
Yeah, it's all the rich people wall.
Yes, that's the rich people wall.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's...
Which of course is where they let the female Titan run rampant.
Yeah! Kill all the civilians! Flashback to the shot of that one little girl in a nice dress walking around covered in blood.
Like, crying her eyes out.
Yeah.
I think the series really did build up to a pretty epic finale. you know?
Yeah. Did you watch through the end credits of the last episode?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
did. Yeah.
That little teaser is what made me go, and there's no more yet? I have to wait a year for more? And then we started up the second season, and I was a little disappointed because it didn't dive straight into that mystery.
It didn't.
It started a new mystery.
Yeah, they kind of start a whole bunch of other stuff.
So
there's a whole bunch of stuff in season 2.
There's a whole bunch of other stuff.
I was really, really grateful that we could like marathon watch the whole thing.
Because I was watching as it came out, one episode a week.
Oh my gosh, that must have just, and then you had to wait for the end because they definitely were building up to that grand finale and the big reveal about the female Titan and who she is. And
I semi-guessed. The first time I watched it through, I had a slight vague suspicion of who it was. And then the second time I watched it through, I was like, yes, there were definitely all the hints were there.
You see all the foreshadowing.
Which I completely missed.
Because when she held up her hands to fight, like the other human character did, that's when I was like, okay, why is she holding her body in the exact same way as this human character?
And also the whole blonde hair and the same nose shape.
Which I have to admit, sadly, it took me longer to catch on to that one.
Aww.
Speaking of nose shape, what do you guys think of the character designs in here?
They're
very different.
They're all very different. Yeah, it's like there's a lot of diversity. Because a lot of anime, it's like characters who like they're all the same face with different hairstyles or like different clothes.
Well, that's why they all traditionally have different hair colors because it was the easiest way to differentiate.
Well, these are all supposed to be different from different backgrounds.
Well, they're all European though.
Yeah,
and they're all
except for Mikasa is the last Asian person in the world.
As far as
she's only half Asian.
She's only partially Asian. That's why she got kidnapped.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yes, they mentioned that's why they kidnapped her.
And I think there's a bit implied with Levi too.
Oh really? I hadn't.
Because like Levi, he's got kind of the same features as her a little bit, like same hair and the same eye shape. But that might just be because he's angry all the time. I don't know. But
he just has angry eyes all the time.
He just has angry eyes.
Where was I?
I'm surprised they
character design.
I love the fact that they made the characters not as pretty. And I love the Roman noses that they did on a lot of them. It made for very interesting profiles to see and everything. Mm-hmm. And also the way they did bold outlines on some of the characters at certain scenes because, again, it gave the show a very strong, memorable...
And I like how all the side characters got, like, unique features, too.
Mm-hmm. Like Marco with his freckles.
Marco!
Poor Marco.
Marco, you didn't deserve any of that, man.
Poor Marco.
You really only existed to give Jean some more trauma, didn't you?
Yeah, he did.
I really liked Marco, man.
I'm rooting that Jean makes it through season 2.
Jean better make it through season 2, okay?
It's tough. I mean,
Jean, you better make it.
You have to prepare yourself emotionally because
you started off as the typical bully character, but now I really like you and I don't want you to fail.
If I was going to pick out people that are going to die, I'm going to say it has to be Sasha because she's the only comedic.
Oh, God. But there's also Connie. Connie could die in her place.
Yeah, Connie could die too.
Don't kill Sasha, please. Yeah. I like Sasha a lot because I relate to her on many levels. Yeah. I really like her. Even the comedic characters have like their moments. Because, like, Sasha, she had, like, there's a scene in the Female Titan arc where they're in the forest and she hears the Female Titan yell and she's like, wait a minute, be on your guard. I've heard this before. It's like...
Yeah, it's a cornered animal that's ready to do anything. Be careful.
Because, like, she has, cautious. And they're all like, Sasha has these hunches that are usually correct, so we should probably listen to her. And I'm like, yeah.
Well, she used to be a hunter. She comes from a hunting family, so she's used to hunting animals and stuff in the woods. So she has some instinct for that.
I like Sasha.
Yeah, I like Sasha.
I guess she's the comedic butt of many jokes, but I like her.
I have to admit, my favorite comedic character, but in kind of a creepy way, is Hange.
Oh, yeah, Hange.
And I love her voice actress in the Japanese.
Yeah,
she's got that really cool, deep voice to her.
And then when she's yelling, it gets all shrieky.
Yeah, and I love the details, if you notice, because being a person that wears glasses... All of you.
They all have like straps.
They all have straps and stuff to hold their glasses on. Which, if you're maneuvering with that ODM gear,
they're gonna fly off.
They're gonna fly right off. And I'm like, because half the time you watch this anime with fighting and the characters with glasses, they're just like they're magically stuck to their faces apparently.
Yeah. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah, all the glasses characters have like straps and like really thick like.
Well, and Hanj's
like,
are more like goggles.
They're more like goggles, yeah.
That she uses,
and also because I want to talk about Hanj a little bit more because I really like Hanj.
She is very cool.
She's creepy in some spots, but she's like she's the mad scientist of the survey group,
and that's what she is, which is why it's a little scary when she starts getting very excited about Aaron.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, but it is shown that she is actually incredibly smart, and she has her moments where she understands a lot of things. She's the one who deduced part of like Aaron's like ability and stuff and how it works.
She got way too attached to those two Titans.
Sonny and Dean?
She
Yeah.
got way too attached to them.
Did you know that's a real story?
Is it?
The one she told about Sonny and Dean?
Yeah, she went the naming ceremony where she named them after like a
Okay.
cannibal group or something.
It was a family of cannibals that lived in Scotland in the Middle Ages or something, and the
Oh.
caves by the sea, and they actually like now it's not known how much of this is true or legend true,
Sure,
but it's actually
sure.
a true legend. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
And yeah, so Sonny and Bean were actually real.
I
Sonny
didn't
Bean was
know
the
that.
name of the head of the cannibal family, and they would rob travelers and eat them.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Hanj's antics, especially this. It's a little moment that I really like is when Aaron is sitting down with like Team Levi or whatever for the first time, and you hear a massive thud on the door, and then when Levi goes to open it, Hanj is there rubbing her forehead, implying that she was so excited to meet Aaron that she just ran straight into the
Well,
closet
I
door.
love the fact that she sits down and Aaron asks her about, so what exactly have you learned about Titans? And everybody else just tries to scuttle out of the room as fast as they can. And by the next scene, it's like, it's morning and he looks
8
like
hours
he's
later.
been awake all night.
And Hanj is still talking.
She's still going.
She's still. I like her because I really
and
like
mostly
her.
what her experiments are is, and then we found out that didn't work. Or then we found out that wasn't true. And then we found out, and we learned nothing at all. And it's like, she spends more time not learning things than she does
Yeah,
learning.
but she's also, it's also shown that she's very well respected and she's very important, even if she is weird.
Yeah.
She's maybe third in command, it feels like. a lot
She's
of
called
times.
Section Commander.
Section commander, so she's
Section-
pretty high up in the
Yeah,
hierarchy.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just like her, and also not just because I share a name with her. Just because I share a name with her.
What do you guys think about the animation, particularly when they're doing the ODM maneuvering and stuff?
Oh, it's so
It's like
smooth.
an action movie.
It's
you
so
know?
smooth.
It's very fast.
This is the one of the few anime where I can say the CGI was very well done.
Yeah, they
It
really
was
the way they
amazingly well
incorporated
done.
it is great.
Yeah.
I also love how
Wit
like
Studio did an amazing job on it.
I also like how with certain characters the way they use their ODM is
It's
like
different.
Like
Yeah.
like for example Levi, he turns into like a spinning razor blade.
He's
kind
spinning
of
wheel of death.
He's just zip. And then Mikasa is very similar. She's very similar, which there's something going on there. I don't know what's happening. But and I think Aaron is just like he's always like
They said he's marginally better in the field than he is in the classroom, which means I don't think he's actually all that good at using his ODM.
but he gets the most like focus because he's just so angry that he just goes on like rampages.
I've noticed though that if you notice, sometimes they get too focused on the one Titan they're going after because constantly they're getting ambushed by ones behind them. And
Yeah,
it makes it-
which is
makes
why
it
Aaron
hard.
got so messed
Yeah.
up because he didn't look at the ground.
Yeah.
But like the scenes where they show like little details, like when a character is like zooming through a street and they brush their foot against the ground for a bit, or like they're sliding between trees, or they're doing loop-de-loops, and it's
Have you talked about the music though too? 'Cause
Oh.
the music, yeah,
it
that might have
reeks
been
of
missed.
early 2000s rock, but I love it.
But it's just
The
amps
opening
up.
song, the first
Yeah.
opening song is still, I think, the best Attack on Titan song.
Yeah, yeah.
The second one is okay.
Followed by Sasageo as the season 3 opening.
I have
Sasageo.
I have not seen season 3 yet, so.
You're missing out. You're missing out. You're missing out.
I've decided I'm working my way this month. I'm working my nerdy thing. Probably next time is I actually finished watching all of Attack
You
on Titan.
better, because Sasageo is one I'd rank it below the first one in terms of how hype it is. The second one's a little kind of. It sounds like a national anthem.
It does a little bit, but
sounds
I
like
think
a
that's done on purpose.
Probably, yeah. It's not as
because
hype.
he's joined the Scouts. He's a
more
little bit more
military.
formal, more
It's
military.
more political,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think any opening's gonna match the hype that is in that first season opening, because it's so...
that's the one that, like, burned itself in everybody's brain, because...
Yeah, everybody knows it. Everyone knows it. It's just so catchy.
And if I remember right, Aaron's last name is Jaeger, right?
Yeah, Jaeger.
I think Jaeger actually means hunter.
Yeah, it means hunter in German.
So,
Yeah.
It's and they use the music the way they use the music for different scenes. You know, there's like, you know, random
I
piano
actually got
music
the soundtrack for
and-
season 1 on vinyl record.
Oh, really?
And there's like this one, there's this one track that you said you really liked that was like usually during like tactical scenes, something like that, where it got all techno for a little bit.
Yeah, I remember
like
that. Yeah, they paired the music well with what was going on. In this anime.
Like it
Depending
was
on
like
the
a
scenes.
mixture, like and the whole vibe of it was like the non-rock song music. It was like a mixture of like old and like, you know, violins and like older instruments with like the time period, and then like techno stuff. To make it more like militaristic or like strategic.
But when a fight was about to happen, it's about to go. Like
when
the
you
music-
can hear lyrics, you know it's gonna get
the
hyped.
rock
All right.
music was
So
start.
I have one more favorite character I want to mention.
Yes.
And that's Dot Pixis.
Oh, the bald guy, the bald guy,
general guy.
the bald general guy who stole the wine from that fat
the
dude.
crazy one.
Yeah,
crazy
the
one.
absolute. Well, eccentric.
He's not crazy.
He's
Okay,
eccentric.
sorry.
There are crazier characters.
There are crazier characters. There's
He
the guy who
is-
can smell Titans coming. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that guy. His name's
Yeah,
Mike,
I
I
don't
think.
really understand what's going on with him.
I think
Yeah,
his name was Mike, and he was like a second in command to Levi
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, then he can smell Titans. Apparently.
Okay, there you go.
And he can also smell emotions on people or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, he's anyway.
I like how they made
The
emphasis.
scout
they
trip
gave
is
him-
all full of the
well,
weirdos.
he's still alive and he's a good fighter, so you know. There you go.
Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah.
Let's see how long he makes it.
But yeah, I like Dot Pixis. The little bit he was in there, I was like, I'm hoping we see more of his character.
Yeah.
Because I like the fact that he was just like,
He's just a weirdo. He's like, all right, we'll give this a shot.
Yeah,
I mean,
he was like-
let's not think about it too much.
he talked to Aaron and was like, so you can turn into Titan, you think you can do this? Great. Our whole plan is now centered around you. And he's like, that's insane.
He's like so nonchalant.
buddy,
you know?
buddy,
Yeah,
are you
yeah.
really sure you know what you're doing?
Yeah.
Just- But I kind of like how nonchalant
Well, and he
was.
also hands like an underage kid a thing of
Yeah.
He does hand him a thing of whiskey or something.
It was like, have a
Hence the
swallow.
content warning. Yeah.
And then and Aaron doesn't even realize. He's like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like how this show is like so horrifying and like dramatic, and then there's like tiny little moments of comedy in between
well,
it.
you need those because otherwise it just gets to be too much. Because I
Yeah.
will say that attack on when they're trying to retake Trost,
Oh yeah,
that's 4 episodes of just pure
just
Yeah.
agony, despair and
And
agony,
Yeah.
and then it's
Yeah.
just- and then they kind of make up for it with the whole like, you know, mysterious Titan appearing, but. And another tiny moment I like is when Jean is like seeing like these 2 Titans through a hole in the wall when they just make it to like the refill station, and he's like having like a whole like inner monologue like, was this all for nothing? Have I done this all for nothing? Did I doom everybody? And then a slow-mo fist just comes zooming through and punches both of them out of the way, and I'm like, what? It's just like, it's like what?
Yeah. they did some really fun views with that and so on. And the Titan designs are creepy.
Oh, they're
Super
so weird.
I think the ones that look the most human are the creepiest.
Yeah,
Just gonna
and-
say.
And the ones,
The
especially
dude
the ones
with the mustache. I mean,
oh, the guy with like the bearded one that almost ate
Yes.
Armin was. Ugh.
There's like the one that looks like the old meme of the dancing baby.
Oh God,
yes.
that thing.
that was one of the
Ew.
abnormals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the one that was like running around on all fours and it chased Sasha for a bit.
Okay.
That was bad.
That was super
was
creepy.
super
That was
creepy.
super creepy.
really
I mean, I'm
creepy.
sorry, the ones that have the mouths that open further than they should and all the
Yeah,
extra teeth and
yeah.
stuff, I was like, those are less creepy.
They're cool.
They're cool. They're more cool design than creepy.
But the ones that are
But
like
the ones that
hum-
look almost human
And then
they're
they
just-
don't act human.
Yeah,
and,
that's
or
way
like when the
worse.
ones that like run with like their heads at an angle and they're like with their
Yeah.
hands all raised, all
Or
funky.
with no arms at all.
With
and-
no arms.
yeah.
There was one that looked like a weird, like William Shakespeare baby or something, and it had
Yeah.
like a bloated head, and his limbs were
Well, as
super
I said, one
short.
of the creepiest ones that you just barely saw him, but it was a guy with this big old bushy mustache on his
Oh
lip,
my
and I was
God.
just like,
that looks like a guy you'd see at the general store. I don't like that.
But now he's blowing up to like 10 meters tall and he's
Yeah.
eating people.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. I really don't like that.
Yeah.
But like all like the crazy evil titans that are like that have like emphasis on them, like the colossal and the armored one and Aaron's titan.
Those are more
and the
of
female.
those are more of a cool design.
Yeah, they're cool. They look really neat and strange. And then the other ones are like, Uncanny Valley.
They actually made Aaron's titan look more demonic with the long,
the pointy ears,
like and like the weird
and
jaw.
the way the jaw is done.
And his hair is like super edgy. And
fun fact on the hair. Apparently, that was originally supposed to be Aaron's hairstyle.
Yeah.
He was supposed to have the same hairstyle as his Titan, but they changed it a little bit to make the reveal a bit more shocking.
Yeah, that was a good choice.
And Aaron was
That
originally
a good
going to have
choice.
that rock star hair.
Oh, really?
But they got rid of it. But I also...
No, it makes better sense for him not to have that, considering he's in the scout troop and stuff like that. Yeah.
And also, because, like, long hair kind of isn't really that great. Everyone who has long hair in this show has to tie it back, because, you know, someone's going to grab it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, probably it'll get caught on something.
All right, so it's probably time for us to wrap up our discussion here. Any last and final thoughts? Although, Zoe, you kind of already had yours. Do you have any other thoughts, Lisa?
No. I mean, I think that this was a really fun watch, and I'm sure anyone listening to this podcast doesn't need to know that, you know, but...
A fun watch.
A fun watch.
Of a terrible, horrific, depressing show that has...
It was entertaining. I thought it was entertaining.
It drags you into the story and keeps you going.
Yeah, and I think that it's hard to describe to someone who's not really into anime what this type of show is and what it's all about. And it's easy to kind of generalize it about, it's, a bunch of bloody people fighting titans.
It's dark, it's grim,
but
it's every alternate kid's
I do
lover
like
or something.
the character development. I like the art. I thought the story was entertaining. I thought it was really fun. So
I think we're going to continue to season 2.
Yeah, we're totally going to finish season 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I am too, because I'm like, okay, it's time.
You
I
got
actually finished
season-
watching
yes,
this. I've watched season 1 4 times. I actually need to move on now.
Season 3 picks up from what season 2 did, because season 2 is a little slow, but season 3 picks up very high.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
I won't.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and wrap it up, because we have talked long enough about this. Thank you all for joining me today, and thank you, listeners, for listening to us as we talked about Attack on Titan. Chances are high you've probably already seen it if you're listening to a anime podcast.
Yeah, but you get to hear the opinion of it from someone who's never seen it.
That's
so.
Yes, and hasn't watched much anime either,
No,
so that's even
not
better.
At all. Not at all.
If you would like to email in and make any comments about what we've been watching, or
any
have some,
or any requests,
or any requests, we're always open to requests. We're right now trying to figure out what we're going to talk about next time. You can email me at the email that's in the show notes. And once again, thank you, Miss Lisa, for coming and joining us and talking about this show.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're going to have you on again.
Yeah, that was great.
So
great.
we're just going to have to find a very different show. Maybe we'll find a show you really like and Zoe doesn't.
Ooh,
I'll make you watch
go.
a harem. No! I'll make you watch a harem.
I don't want to watch a schlocky romance. I don't like romance. I don't even like live action American romance.
And with that, let's say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.